Okay. The next is self-love, responsibility 5. I am the divine love. I do not feed nor be fed by feed love. I am loved. Self-love is a responsibility of spiritual maturity. Love others as you would love the self, and love the self as you would like to love others. Love is usually the word that is applied to, can I steal your energy? I do not have enough of my own. I'm lonely. I need you. If love is need, it is feed. Feed is sucking energy off somebody else because you do not know how to bring it through your own soul. Ouch. Many of us recall that occasional situation like this. It could be you are the one sucking energy off from others, or you are the being sucked. Is it the love, or it was a need? Have you experienced feed love? Let's go back and look. It doesn't need to be romantic love. It could be love. It could be love from your parents, or love from some other family member, sibling, friends. I really need you. I have to be with you. Or I need you. Feed me, right? Kind of think and look back. Is something you felt that way and seek love, not realizing that was energy, more like a feed. Please feed me. As you're taking a mental note, you may apply this. How would you shift that, the feed, to divine love? What does divine love look like? It is a very important concept, and it's also a feeling. I am the divine love. I do not feed or nor be fed by feed love. I am loved. So I am love, and I'm loved. How do you picture yourself as a divine love? Let's draw it. And how will you feel? What is your emotional state? What is your sensation, the feeling to be divine love itself? Sometimes it clicks better when you actually say it. I am the divine love. I am love. I'm loved. I am the absolute love. So that's please do stop this video and let's start drawing. Picture yourself as a divine love. How do you look like? It doesn't need to be a person. It could be expressed as a color, texture, sound. How do you picture the sound? I bet you could figure that out. Just go for it. Stop it and go for it. Okay, welcome back. I hope you draw it. The divine love of yourself. I'd love to take a look at them. Please do share. Responsibility 6, spiritual integrity. I own every part of who I am. I represent source each moment. The tough one, yes. Spiritual integrity is based on knowing oneself as a representative of source. I am the agent of Source, a containment vessel of accumulating consciousness designed to harvest positive, fun, childlike, expansive, fearless, guilt-free, experiential interrelationships, no matter the shape, texture, or challenges of individual circumstances. Knowing and believing in your ancestry and multidimensional self is intrinsic to the process of becoming more of what you want and less of what you do not. Another big one here, right? So the quality they explain, first of all, you're seeing as yourself is a vessel of ever accumulating consciousness designed to harvest. So meaning that you are ever expanding consciousness to embody the positive, fun, childlike, expansive, fearless, guilt-free interaction with the reality, everything around you, the things and the being, no matter what that is. That is a fully embodiment of becoming the agent of source, which is becoming each moment of that is a spiritual integrity. Because I am a face of God. Every time you see me, you see the expression, extension of God. Everything about me is a true representation of my true self, is true God. One aspect of God. Each and every one of you represent a part of the God that no one else has. But we are all extension, agent of source. So being integrity, be able to hold integrity, it means that you're showing, acting, become the conduit, the clear vessel of what you are truly is, which is you are the reflection, representation, extension of source, God. My back of the head hurts just saying that. Not hurts, I mean, you feel like a lot of energy coming in. So I own every part of who I am. I represent source each moment. Let's practice spiritual integrity here. Look back your day, today, last week, a year even, 12 years. Bring up the time when you act in accordance with your true self principle, or you didn't. And this is a big topic. So I don't expect you to just jot down now and then move next. This is something we need to stop, kind of contemplate on it. You know, it's just take your time, probably a week. This is a kind of conscious kind of effort. It is very important to be true and be able to recall those moments. Because believe me, when you transit this life to the next, whatever next place you go to, all those things comes like in a shot of series of a movie scene or the picture, all comes up. So don't wait until then. Let's deal with right this moment. Spiritual integrity. When you find yourself, I was acted upon. I was true reflection of a divine self. Yeah, hoping, not hope, but I'm sure someday then some people will answer every day, every moment. Yeah. Well, this is something hard. Why, when you didn't, why I did not act in accordance with my true self. Something else came out and prayed. This is a pretty big one. So be kind to yourself and take your time. You know, it's not like somebody going to come and test it upon you. This is just you and you. you and your divine self face to face, going through day, week, month, year, years. I hope you have at least a couple or the list of examples to work on, because you're going to do next is let's consider a different choice, a higher choice. Is there any other way to behave? There is other way to respond. This is very important. When you're looking back, we need to lower our vibration to access the past. This is part of the mechanic. So now we're going to be lowering vibration, meaning lower your breath. Slow down your thinking. First, you really have to slow down to the point where you're almost going to fall asleep, back to kind of like a 0 point. And with a running intention, a backdrop. Okay, in the background, you intend to recall those moments you like to address now. Those things are going to pop up. As you pop up, you write it down. And then we're going to increase our frequency. And you bring in your God self, ecstatic joy and love is a harmonizing, healing energy with ecstatic joy. Just put you in a very enlightenment state. From that point, we often find more than one solution remedy, the higher option. And guess what? Now you know the higher frequency, the better one. So you'll likely take this one next time the similar situation comes upon. But that itself makes us feel pretty good, isn't it? Because you kind of give the thought to it, transmute the behavior, and putting everybody in a higher position. That means you set free yourself in the past and set free the actor and actresses involved in that thing. I am a face of God. Everything about me is a true representation of my true self. So how do I feel in this stance? How do I look to others? How do I look like from other, other people's eye? It's not like you care so much how you look, but this is a way you could objectively see yourself. So as if you are in the future, looking back and seeing yourself now, and brilliantly shown your spiritual integrity, right? I want you to put this yourself onto this blank page and empowerment. This is a reminder of who you really are. So please stop the tape video now and let's work on this together. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I hope you draw yourself a position of spiritual integrity. We move on to the next responsibility 7, appreciation. I thank souls for my aliveness. I feel love. I give love each breath. I give out and take in. You're feeling love each moment. Each time you take a breath in and out, you bring in and offer exchange of love, thankfulness. There's something to appreciate and be grateful for in everything you have. Very important. Do I thank for all things I have, all experiences I embody now? I see myself from the low to the high points in the scale I have. I forgot to say thank you. Just throwing the word thanks without truly meaning it will give it thanks to counter fear. Again, perhaps misuse of the word. I do not need to have extreme circumstances or an event to learn appreciation. What can I thank for now? What can you thank for now? Everyone has something to thank for every moment. What is it to you now? What is it? To me, I start my day thanking Source that I am alive. I am conscious, aware, and able. I thank for my pain because I feel pain because I am alive. I feel my breath moving through my body because I do have a body. I end my day thanking Source that I live today. I am aware and conscious to acknowledge that I learned today with all parts, mind, body, and spirit. I thank this moment for my aliveness and my consciousness, my awareness of being with Source. Thank you. Now, extreme circumstance in our life often reset our standard, isn't it? Having a cancer diagnosis with, let's say, 2 years to live, or carrying a child on an incurable illness. Also, many things that used to bother you or care for simply disappear. It forces to pay more attention to the use of energy. What is important to me at this moment? How best I may use my energy now? What are the must things before I leave here? How I wish to experience my life now and later when things get harder. All of a sudden those things that, oh, I have to, make my nail pretty before I go to beach, or, oh, I have to cut my glass because it probably look bad from the neighbor. I don't know. There's a lot of things that, really not important things. We usually, pay too much attention, throw too much of energy around those things. But hey, all those things that can really shape us up. Well, each moment has a lot more weight now. I really do not have a time to care about how other people think of me or how other may judge my value. This is far more important things right here in front of me. And also you start feeling the people in the world treat you differently as you face those life-ending events. That's something you have to deal with. There's an energy that you have to use to how to deal with those projected energies. This is a very much unwanted energy oftentimes, unfortunately. How to cope with those energy and perhaps utilize those energy to your advantage. Shifting it to appreciation, it becomes life expanding gift. So shift the ending to expanding, event to a gift. This is a magic. This is a power you have, the power, the free will you can exercise here. Thank you is a magic word. Before you pull those things that pull you all the way down, or farther down. Says thank you. Thank you. It's a magic word. It's a magic pill. Very potent pill. You have a free will also here to exercise. Offer that to yourself before somebody puts some other thing into you. It is your life. It is your day. It is your moment. Hold the moment. Own it. Start with thank you. So let us start with end of life scenario. It's a very extreme example, but sometimes it works. If you don't like this, you could find something a little more mild. But let's say you are visiting your own funeral. Well, some people will call not the funeral, but the graduation time, right? Whichever the word you use, that's fine. But you understand what we try to do here. You're closing a chapter in this life of your life now. What would you see first? What is your feeling and sensation? Is there any emotion? Is there any dominant things comes up in you right now? What's your physical, emotional, mental body you're feeling? It's time. Let's take time here to run this movie. I want you to feel you as if you're astral traveling out of your body. You start to aware the situation slowly, steadily. You're getting closer to what it calls like a funeral scene. At first, you are not sure where you are exactly and whose funeral, and start to realize seeing your picture next to whatever, understand that this is your funeral. You're seeing many people, you're seeing loved one, their dress, their emotional state, how's the weather like, is there some moisture like, humidity or dry, warm or cold, it's raining or clear sky, it is outside or inside. Is people crying with a black dress, or are there something else? Is there animals? Is there anything else you notice? And get a little closer and closer to the scene in the center stage. Are people talking about you, or how are people describing you? How do you feel? How was your life? Was it fulfilling? Was it loving? Was it joyful? Is it something you wish you could have done before? Is it something you wish you didn't? How many things you could recall that you're glad you did and you're celebrating? Can you recall victorious moments? Very joyful, loving moments? The laughter, the tears, the adventure, good time, not so good time. Are you now resting in peace? Or the parts of your body are screaming? I want you to feel using your emotional body, truly feel. What would you say to your family member if they are crying? How would you want them to behave? Is there something you wish to say to them? What is your dominant feeling? What is your dominant emotion? Write down the things you notice. Is something unusual, unexpected? Is something very telling? And don't forget to breathe. This is also something I want you to exercise time to time. So oftentimes we wait until too late to do this exercise. It is important to how you come into this world, and also it is important how to exit this world. Since you are still here now, there are things you can do to address or continue to do if this is something very fulfilling and successful life. Let's keep going. The things that work, and stop doing if something it doesn't work or it doesn't resonate well. You are still in a power position because you own the power now. Slowly open your eyes and let's write this down before you forget. Please stop the video recording so that you could take some time to recall and write down the important findings. Patience. Who can wait in stillness while the mud settles? Who can reset until the moment of action? This is a very important quote. Who can wait in stillness while the mud settles? Who can rest until the moment of action? It's very mirror to the teaching of a divine right timing and a divine right order. Oftentimes, our patience or impatience take over, and we might do something. It's not a called for. Sometimes we are too impatient when it comes to heal ourselves or others. Our expectation overrides the divine right timing and also divine right order. if you're a healer, this is extra important to have a patience, because it's often come with expectation. I release my expectation now. I am divine right timing. I am divine right order. I am divine right placement. Often we healer run business, yes, and the client comes and go in a set time, in a certain amount of money being invested. So naturally people has expectation. This is a 60-minute session and you're supposed to feel better by then. But your body, and their body, the healing process, those things does not read your textbook or doesn't have any reason to follow. You can really place the time and amount of energy in advance and set expectation. Okay, now the time is up, you go, right? The first, there's a healer or non-healer. We all need to release our expectation. We're trusting the divine right timing and order. We'll be able to do this with ease. Let's reflect our journey of patience. Would you recall a time when you are less patient? How did you experience your life then? Also, would you recall the time when you were able to accept divine right timing? And how did you experience your life then? Do you have expectation? What are the most limiting expectations you may have to yourself and others? Is there any current relationship, perhaps a little compromise because of the lack of patience? Without condemning yourself, let's simply review your life at home, your life at work, and your life when interacting with others. Releasing expectation is a part of being responsible to exercise patience. Now you may ask the following: what is the role of divine right timing? In the past, did patience or lack of it taught you something important? If yes, in which part of your life, in which aspect of your body or mind needed this the most? This is a big one. So the aspect of your body, mind, the lower it goes, the harder it reaches. Our physical body is the subconscious mind. Our emotional body is instinctual mind, where our instinct resides. And our mental body is our reasoning mind, the patience, the trigger to become impatient. Everybody has the trigger. and then the hot button. Perhaps you are a pretty patient person. Perhaps you are not. Try to feel and identify where those triggers are coming from. It also gives you some clue to become a master of being a patient. You may stop this video, finished and complete. You may continue if you already finished this part. You could have, this is something important if you are the category of very impatient person. Okay, you could have the symbol of patience and impatient. It could be very simple things, so that every time you are becoming impatient, this symbol going to show up, and you replace that symbol with this, so you could quickly navigate yourself and orient yourself with more fulfilling life right here. Patience. So it's a kind of catch yourself. Right? This is a kind of autopilot, and catching yourself and being here. This will give you a chance, to reconnect with your soul and as a part of your body. Okay. And create a lasting I am statement. We have a lot of things happening. Our life is very busy, and in the highway, it's kind of highway style. At the moment you wake up into the bed, even after the bed, it's almost because something keep running in our head. And we tend to forget to care of ourselves and become very impatient. And there's a lifestyle like this. Stop on the side of a road, look at the scenery, the beauty of nature. There's nothing you must be or must go by a certain time. If you truly think of it, oftentimes we create this situation ourselves. We tend to lose the patience. It's a lot to do with understanding and understanding of universal mechanics, which is the divine right timing, divine right balance, divine right order. You could also say divine right placement, divine right way. So every time you're frustrated or impatient, understand that you're a little bit away from here, the flow of universal mechanic. Know that you've been taken care of. Try to becoming in peace and in harmony within and you and outside. Kindness. I give myself permission to be kind to myself. Kindness implies being conscientious and care towards the needs, feeling and desire of both the self and others. Be gentle with yourself. In the society, we are both brought up to be hard on ourselves. We were taught to continually compete with others and with ourselves. So the thought that we should have done more or done something better and faster is a continuous thread that runs through everything we do. That is so true, isn't it? Be competitive. competitive, do better, improve upon, do faster. Sounds familiar? Be gentle with yourself. Forgive yourself ahead of time. Do not allow yourself to get so angry at yourself that you start judging yourself. Stay in love with yourself. I think, feel that the speaker one is almost talking to herself, isn't it? Sometimes we are very harsh, so not kind to ourselves. It's some kind of conditioning and programming. It's running in the background. It's really important to catch that and be kind. Be kind to the process, be kind and gentle. A lot of things could have been done better. Simply, we haven't done anything at all. So just stop before we completely wrap around ourselves to-do list or condemn yourself. My goodness, I haven't done anything today. Well, celebrate yourself. Like I say a lot of time, we are far better off not doing anything. Think of that. You've probably done so much better just by not doing anything. I'm just giving an extreme example here because we, the most of us, tend to be harsh to ourselves. And just breathing and eating and sleeping seem to be a crime if you are not doing something continuously, right? That's not very good either. Kindness is something you start receiving first. Be gentle to yourself first. Have you been kind to yourself? Review your weeks, months, and years. Ask yourself the same question: was I kind to myself then? Perhaps you are a very kind person, perhaps kind to others, or perhaps maybe not kind to your body, or perhaps very kind to almost everything. But maybe hasn't been able to extend to others. Which part are you very harsh to yourself? A lot of time other people know about this better. How other people describe you? Do they say you're very strict? How about your standard? Back in the day, when you were little, when you're in a high school, before you get married, or after you have a children, or after you had a pet. Try to segment your life and see how you were then in terms of kindness. Again, this is your responsibility, remember? You may stop the video now to finish writing. And you could also write a little bit more about future. How would you like to be in this department? What it is like to be kind to yourself. I am gentle soul. I am kind to myself and others. I receive kindness, gentle suggestion, random act of kindness. It is a trap some fell into, a very kind to others yet strict to themselves. It is a double standard. Why? Is that because you should be better than others? You're not trusting others? There is a label, judgment, or something to prevent them from receiving kindness. Can you hold an image of a kind energy flowing back and forth between you and others? How does the world look like? Ten, conservation. I take what I need and no more. Conservation speaks deeply to some as they walked on the path of lack. Nature provides so much and we take much of it. We can minimize waste and optimize resources, knowing that nothing is too small to make a difference. What would you do to follow this principle? Please stop the video and write them down. Everyone has something they could contribute for conservation. You will reap what you sow. How are you spreading your energy? We think of things when minding conservation, wildlife resource, perhaps money even. How about your energy and consciousness? That is a precious energy. What goes around comes around is one of the rules within our universe. It applies directly to all that we do and all that we experience. But in our present state of evolution, most of this balancing takes place upon a subconscious level. Interesting. So basically what it say here, we are spreading or doing something unconsciously and experiencing also unconsciously, right? So what we will reap, what we sow. We are doing this in a subconscious, unconscious level. It's kind of scary. Maybe that's why some or many of us applies what comes around, why it came around. I even didn't remember I put the energy into this area. It's something we kind of take time to understand this concept. We have unseen forces that influence our subconscious minds. One way to deprogram ourselves from harmful influences is to have a good checklist. At home, at work, on the street, on screen, you can observe yourself and see if you are wasting your precious consciousness. Start calibrating your energy. Here are some examples. I manage my energy effectively because I have a sufficient energy left to center myself before bed. This is a pretty good one that I check myself. Do I have enough energy left to do a very high quality meditation before I go in bed? I did not manage my energy today. I had a scattered minds, wandering random thoughts, and do not recall any dominant feeling. What did I eat for breakfast? You remember those day? It's just like a kind of day pass and don't particularly remember the discrete moment. Not very good feeling. And here's something is pretty good checklist as well. Discerning the right use of action, conserving energy to be more effective. Learning when to engage and not to engage, especially in emotional conflicts. The big energy saver here, huh? Do not feed the negativity or entities. Yes, that. Conserving energy creates stronger focus. Makes sense? Wasting energy scatters and dissipates positive influences. Interesting. Wasting energy scatters and dissipates the positive influence. That's something you really need to think of. We think a lot of money, Yeah, because money is something right here, pretty, make a huge move our energy, so to say. But not necessarily we pay attention and consciousness in terms of conservation and some kind of a new. It actually, to me, the consciousness is far more potent energy than the money. The money has a lots of energy here. The consciousness is far greater energy. So let's pay attention to that also. Identify parameters is something you can aim or measure your effectiveness. So those are the good things. I showed up. I signed up this class. I say I'm gonna come. I say I'm going to do. And I did show up. Check. I meditate, meaning you took a break for lunch, right? Or anything. You decided to conserve energy through the meditation by act of taking a break and recalibrate your energy that lead to the conservation. Absolutely. I did not get involved in a gossip. Oh my God, this is a huge one, right? Because scattering, does the gossip, the energy go horizontally. That means you're scattering your energy, that diminish the possible influences. So yes, it is important. Make some I am statement here. Yeah, so let's start paying attention to our subconsciousness, because that's the exchange happening in our subconscious, basically basement level. We're just giving away energy, or just energy being spent, and whatever things we did spend will practically come back and present back to us. So this energy exchange happening in subconscious. So how would you describe your subconscious? Right? The not less conscious area. You feel tired after you wake up, or you also start to not feeling well after you engage with something. Those are the kind of the body kind of telling you, not necessarily you could logically identify it, but kind of going back, the level, physical level, that's really good parameter. You feel energized or not energized, regardless of the amount of sleep or what type of food you eat. Okay. Is this when you're interacting with a certain individual or certain thing, activity, or something that you think a lot of, that's kind of, maybe those thoughts are not conscious. You're not consciously aware that's something you're thinking of, but it's something running in the back end. Those are a little bit difficult, but more and more you kind of not necessarily energetically at first, but in your logical mind as a picture is really good. Okay, what a subconscious or your subconscious look like here. I give you some example. Freud, not the Freud, Carl Jung, right? This is everything about the basement. Freud, the psychologist, right, the famous one, is everything about above the basement. So Carl Jung would say the big house here, ground, and he gonna emphasize the basement. That's everything he focused on the basement. His basement is like this huge. The house on the top is probably very small, but that's not what he concerned. So it's something, well, we are not like a specialist, expert in the subconscious level. So you could draw any way how the subconscious feel like, look like to you. That's very important. And then after that, we start to recognize and aware what's going in and out in this department. So it is very important exercise. So please stop video and take some time to draw the subconscious right here. Please do it now. Cooperation. Recognizing the interdependence between all living things with a desire to engender, create cooperation between groups and all living systems. So basically, we are all connected and also interdependent. And they have each and every unit. Because we are interdependent, we need each other. The cooperation is the best way to go. Cooperation is value in order to unify the whole in energetically beneficial exchange for creating holistic system. Cooperation becomes the natural behavior to align groups synchronistically in a naturally self-organizing system arranged upon a core spiritual mission or humanitarian philosophy. Let's think about our body. Our body is made up of many different organs and systems and tissue and a cell that connecting things, right? And each organ has a distinct role. In a way, they are dependent on that role. However, by itself cannot survive, correct? We have a thing that have everything come together to make this body, to make things work. More you become harmonizing to each other and cooperate between, we will maybe be able to maintain wellness. Let's look at this film here.
Nothing mystical about it.
They talk about
it is a mystical place, all right. It's
interdependence.
Sacred. I reached enlightenment right here under the banyan grove tree. I heard it calling me, just like you did.
Sure you did. It seems real chatty.
See, this whole swamp is actually just one tree spread out over miles. Branches spread, then sink and take root, and then spread some more. One big living organism, just like the entire world.
I get how the tree is one big thing, but the whole world?
Sure. You think you're any different from me, or your friends, or this tree? If you listen hard enough, you can hear every living thing breathing together. You can feel everything growing. We are all living together, even if most folks don't act like it. We all have the same roots, and we are all branches of the same tree.
But what did our visions mean?
In the swamp, we see visions of people we've lost, people we loved, folks we think are gone. But the swamp tells us they're not. We're still connected to them. Time is an illusion, and so is death.
But what about my vision? It was someone I had never met.
You're the avatar, you tell me.
So this is a children's TV show, but it's a quite spiritual one. And it's explained very well about all living things are connected. And that's cooperation between groups and all living system is something that we take responsibility for.
Nothing mystical about it.
Let's move to the next. We can learn more about the cooperation in a real setting by understanding the program running in subconscious level. There's one of them are so-called divide and conquer programming. Divide and conquer strategy are executed to keep control, power, and resources flow into only specific individuals or organizations that believe they are entitled or superior to others. The competition is divided within the organization to create power conflict. So this is divide and conquer. It's also divide and compete. It's often seen in some organization or some sector of this world. So it's kind of interesting. I love this. Whoever did this is like remind me of this Star Wars, but it's really stop wars, right? It is the concept of words is extreme manifestation of this programming and divide and conquer. And know that this is running at a subconscious level. No wonder we have some urge or must compete at some point of our life, right? Or some implied or suggested in a many different area not necessarily explicitly, being told or directed. Something that we probably need to pay attention to. Have you ever involved in any cooperative creation or project? Would you know of any example that make people inspire, make a better choice for the whole system versus self-interest? I think this will really inspire, empower many of us. Please do submit and write to me as you've seen this so that we could grow together and then empower each other. Thank you. We are creators. Actually, we are co-creators. We manifest, we create, and we experience with what we created. We acknowledge interconnectedness. There are no us or them. There is only us. So let's make some statement with I am to make this very real to you. Cooperation, all oneness. There's no I, really. It's all us, all that is, the connected, just like the banyan tree. So I am. It is a very humble feeling at the same time. The last one is a sense. Be fluid and balanced. Apply both common sense and uncommon sense to honor all aspects of our lives. This is a tough one. Where common sense works well, let's think about this, right? So the common sense, let's say, talk about the health. Naturally, when the common sense is following, don't smoke, don't take drugs, and avoid alcohol and too much sugar, get the accuracy, blah, blah, blah. Those seem to be common sense. How about the uncommon sense works well? Looks like I start light something and stop. It's interesting. But anyway, what is a common sense to you? And what is uncommon sense? I came from other country, so this is an interesting subject for me because common sense from where I come from and common sense here is very different. Some of them are very opposite, and realize this is not the common sense here. So that could become uncommon sense. But then the more generally speaking, right, uncommon sense, it's also different by person. I think I heard in uncommon sense being listed by some monk as a meditation. Then he was saying the meditation is categorized under uncommon sense because that's not naturally considered as a common things to do. Now, more and more people start meditating these days, but think back like 30 years ago, when you talk about meditation, people probably look at you like, are you spiritual? Are you like a monk, right? So that's kind of codify uncommon sense. Now, coming back to this sense, using both in appropriate time, appropriate situation, right? Those are very skillful act or art, right? Almost. So here's something I'm gonna pose to you. What are the common sense? And when you found out the uncommon sense, sometimes you need to exercise to honor, things, that different aspect of our lives. Because a lot of time, oh, that's common sense. That doesn't necessarily apply. You may find, I experience this a lot when I deal with my children. I think it's part of it, the cultural difference, but also the generation difference. And I need to honor where they came from, what their generational mission, and their life, the experience, how their environment different from the one that I experienced mine. So then it is for me to exercise uncommon sense to honor their lives as equally as mine. So this case, my common sense kind of out the door, and I will need to expand myself to bring more of the uncommon sense that work for both of us. This is a humble personal experience. Perhaps you may be able to find a better one. And this is a section that we're going to be keep learning together. Okay. Now here's a little review of the 12 responsibility. 1. Self-actualization. I'm free from all illusion. I'm aware, awake, and able. 2. Self-sovereignty. I am self-sufficient. I'm loved. I'm here to live fully. Self-containment. I'm a Trinity Master. I create harmony. Self-discipline. I am in my divine self each time I use free will. Self-love. I am the divine love. I do not feed nor be fed, but I feed love. I am loved. Spiritual integrity. I own every part of who I am. I represent Source each moment. Appreciation. I thank Source for my aliveness. I feel love. I give love each breath I give out and take in. Patience. I release my expectation now. I am divine right timing. I am divine right order. I am divine right placement. I am divine right way. Kindness. I'm gentle. I'm kind to myself and others. Conservation. I take what I need and no more. I direct my energy effectively. Cooperation. There's only us. Seek higher point for all. Sense. Be fluid and balanced. Apply both common and uncommon sense to honor all aspects of our lives. Let's go back to robe 1. Remember, we doing this to practice robe 1. Robe 1, simply put, the robe 1 is a universal truth that all is one. It is a truth taught by Christ when he proclaimed, love your neighbor as you love yourself. We are all direct expressions of the one source, God source. The robe 1 is an energetic reality as well as creational covenant with the founder races. The robe 1 is practiced by the advanced race that promote self-responsibility and accountability in our universal time matrix. Through the comprehension of the energetic interconnection that exists between all living things, the robe 1 expresses and acknowledges the interconnection, value, and interdependence of the spirit and consciousness that animates all things. Ta-da! Law of 1. The end. I hope you enjoy and hope this helped to springboard into the next evolutional cycle. And we'll keep revisiting these 12 attitude and 12 responsibilities. It is almost a guidance and refer back to, reflect ourselves to, and celebrate ourselves each time we take a step forward to take full responsibility of our action, our word, our thought. Much love to you. Thank you and congratulate yourself completing this video, this section, and let's journey together for a better future.